Hey, my name's Pete Free, and if you're watching this, you are trying to summit the Mount Everest of guitar solos. So good for you. I've broken this down into 4 parts. It's a 16 bar solo, and I've put 4 measures in each part just to break things up and let you jump to where you want to go. If there's places you're working on. My guess is you're working on part 3, but we'll get to that. There is a note about guitar tuning. In My Dreams from the album version, it's not down a half step, it's down what sounds to me about 3/4 of a half step. So my advice, that's the way I have this tuned for this lesson because that's the way it was tuned for the backing track. Tune your guitar accordingly by listening to the original track, and you'll match up with mine here. So with that, let's get started. Okay, the solo starts out with the first 2 measures completely on the G string. And from left hand, you're going to do a bend in the 2nd fret, slide up to the 5th, slide up to the 7th, slide up to the 9th. So it sounds like this. Now for these last 2, you're going to want to tap above the 14th fret, exactly above the metal fret. Give it a quick tap, and hopefully you get a harmonic for the 7th and the 9th frets. For the next 2 measures, you're sliding up on the D and the G string using to the 9th fret together. Pinky on the 12th string of the G, 12th fret of the G. Going between the 9th on the D and the 12th on the G. To the 11th on the G, down to the 9th again, pull off 12, 9, and slide down to 8. Down to the 9th again, 11, 8, pull off, with the 9th twice, and then the 9th on the G. Part 2, I'm going to start by sliding up to the 14th fret, both strings, just like the part 1 started. And then we're going to do a pedal tone, which is on the D string, the 14th fret. And on the G string, we're going to do this pattern. So we're going to put a pedal tone in between each of those notes, which is the 14th. So it's going to sound like... If that's sped up, it's... For the next lick, this one's a little bit tricky. There's a little slide that happens between the 14th and 15th fret on the G in both parts of this next lick. So I'll break it down into the entire lick together sounds like this. So for the first part of it, you slide up and down on the 14th, 15th. Pull off to the 12th, go down to the 14th on the D, up to the 14th on the G. So the first half is... The second part goes a hammer-on from the 12th to the 14th, do the slide again, and then another hammer-on from the 12th to the 14th. And on the 14th of the D. So those 2 parts together sound like this. The last piece of this is just a bend on the 14th, the G. We're going to go up to the B string, hammer around between the 12th and the 13th. Bend on the 14th, the G again. And then release it. Give it some vibe. So the entire part together. Okay, on to the fun part, part 3. First 3 measures, really simple, not much to them, just really hard to do. It starts off with the slide. Your finger position is going to be at the 12th fret. So on the way up to the lick, slide up to the 12th fret of the B string. And then you're going to do the lick, which is all on the E string. 12, 15, 12, 19, 12. 15, 12, 19, 12, 15, 12. So you're using this as your pedal tone, this high E. And you're going to do this 7 times, then go up to the 20th. Only difference is you're moving this pinky from there to there. Back down to the 19th. So in the way that I think about this, even though when you're playing it fast enough, part of this is just getting the speed up, but you actually want to be hitting this top note 7 times for each bar. So to be like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I think that's why it sounds so cool. Is it's almost lagging behind the actual song. If you did it 8 times, it would almost sound too perfect and wouldn't have that kind of strobe light effect that it has. So the first 3 measures again, slide up and go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A little bit faster. So you can do this tapping too. I think it sounds better when it's on one hand, which is why I wanted to learn how to do it that way, because I do think it sounds a little bit better. But same principle, if you want to tap it out. Okay, for the final measure, there's a run that is so weird and so complicated, and I'm not convinced I actually, even now after listening to it many times, slowing it down, know exactly what the notes are, because a lot of them are kind of muted and crunchy. First string is going to be, so 20, 19, 17, but you hit the 23 times. Then we're going to go to the B string. Now this is where it gets a little bit weird. What I hear is kind of it's almost like he's doing a hammer-on pull-off between, but it's kind of muted and missed between 19th and 20th fret and down to the 17th. So we're still on the 20, 19, 17. Then onto the G string, 19, 17. So the first half of that lick is the second half, he's going from 21, 20, 17 on the B, and then on the G string doing 19, 17, 19, 16, 17, 16, down to the D string on the 19th, and then the A string on the 19th. So that it would be like, It's the second half. So together it would be. Slow it down. That's the way it sounds to me. Really hard to do. I actually do it a little bit differently myself just because I think it's a little bit easier to do if you kind of stretch it down. And it also causes those kind of pauses that you hear as you're repositioning your finger, your hand position. It's those kind of subtle like stumbles that lick kind of has if you slow it down. So that's part 3. You have the really big stretch, the first 3 measures going between there, hit 7 times each, and then the crazy lick that, I don't think anyone ever in history will actually hit. So you kind of just do your own thing. I'm going to play that one more time so that you kind of hear what I think it is. That's part 3. That's one you're going to spend most of your time practicing. So at the end of part 3, we ended on this note. The first notes you're going to hit, well, actually the second. Let's go to the second note first. Is that gnarly thing. Seen this transcribed so many ways, sometimes bending up, most of the time bending up at the 15th and really cranking it up like a step and a half. Also seen it at the 20th between the B and the G string. What you're doing is tucking both strings under one finger, putting them together. They're normally this far apart. You smash them together, put them under one finger, and bend. I like to do it at the 16th because I feel like I can get kind of the same-ish notes that were on the album. But before you do those, you kind of like hit some open strings. So you're ending here again. So he's hitting like either the D, G, or the B, combination of those. It's just kind of this preface into this gnarliness. So basically from that. The last lick of the solo, it's on the B string, starts on the 15th fret, pull off to the 12th, back to the 15th. And when you get back to the 15th, you're going to crank that up 2 whole steps, which is the equivalent of 4 frets. And then once you get to the top of that, give it a little vibrato. And then you're going to go to 12 on the first string, back to the 15th, 12, slide down to the 11, and then that's 14th fret on both the G string and the B string. On the album, you hear more of this note, so you can play that too. And maybe you could even do another one of those slide up 1 fret and down again. Or at the chord. So live, I've seen him do it with that chord. If you listen to the album, both notes, you can hear both notes in there, but the predominant one is that one, so it all works. So this whole part again. So that's my take on the In My Dreams solo. George Lynch is a beast. I think that solo was a magical moment captured in time on tape, and it's really fun to try and recreate. So I hope you have good luck doing that, and I hope it stretches you and gives you some new concepts to think about. If you like this kind of thing, like and subscribe, and I'll do more of it. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.